My name's Julie now. If you haven't been in any of these meetings yet, I'm the OIDC for the Red Mountain region. So Red Mountain High School and its surrounding junior high-ish level schools. And I support Canvas use at all those levels. There are OIDCs assigned to all of the regions for all the high schools. Several of them are in here. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. And if I don't get to it, they should be able to get to it. And we can help you out with any of that. Our topic for today is embedding videos in Canvas. And I'm going to do a little bit of review of structural things in Canvas, and then we'll jump into how to embed from, I'm going to do 3 different services. So from YouTube, in 2 different ways from YouTube, and then from Google Drive, which is how you embed anything from Google Drive, and then from Vimeo, which is a lot of what historically Vimeo has been blocked, but for whatever reason, I can get to it now. So we'll see how that is. And no one can give me a solid answer. So I'll show you, but be aware that sometimes it doesn't work. Okay, so I'm in my Canvas course. I'm in a sandbox right now, and I'm going to create a module. We definitely always recommend using modules to organize your course content. It makes it a lot less confusing for students. So we'll do a video demo module, and when I created that, you'll notice nothing popped up on here, and that's because it's all the way down at the bottom. So whenever you create a new module, it pops up down here, and there's a couple ways that you can move that to where you want it. You can click on these 8 dots over here on the left, and you can drag it up, or you can click on the 3 dots, get your flyout menu, and I can move the module, tell it where to go, and I want it to go to the top, and I say move. Okay, so now it's up here. Now, in order to embed a video, you need to have somewhere to embed it. So I'm going to use a content page, but know that you can use anything that has a rich content editor. You can embed a video on it. So the rich content editor, I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to go into my page that I made. I'm going to edit it. So this is the rich content editor right here. So I can type in it, and it has all these options up here, and I can put whatever I want to in here, and this is the content that displays on the page. Now, if you were to go into a quiz, you'll notice that quiz has this option, and it has an option for a lot of the questions and all the answers as well. So if you wanted to embed things into there, I've seen people use videos as their quiz directions, and then underneath that you have all the questions that the kids can answer. So it's kind of ed puzzly in Canvas, where they're answering the questions while they're watching the video. So that's another way of using that in here. Okay, so embedding from YouTube. Couple of different ways. I'm going to show you both ways because sometimes one way doesn't work that great. We'll see if it works right now. But I'm looking at my content editor. I'm going to go all the way over to the right here, and you'll see a plug. It looks like a little outlet plug. So that is a plug because it's a plugin menu. So I'm going to click on that. I think tomorrow we have more on using these apps. Will be available at 9 o'clock. Someone can correct me if it's not at 9. You can learn more about all these things, but today I'm going to demonstrate how to use YouTube. So I'm going to select that. Maybe, there we go. Now sometimes it gets stuck here. This doesn't load. It's annoying, whatever. So let's see. I teach photography. Doesn't want to teach anything about photography. This is a good series. Oh, so YouTube's not working out so great right now. Give me anything. Give me a video. So normally you would get some results here. You can select them and put them in. So I don't know what's up with the plugin right now, but that's why we have option 2. So this doesn't mean don't try this. 9 times out of the 10, it works. Yeah, get out of there. But sometimes I think with this new rich content editor, it gets a little glitchy. So we're going to go to option 2 of embedding YouTube video into here. So that was your first option. Easy because it's built right into here. Easy when it's working, right? So here's the other way if that's not working. So I'm going to go, I have another tab open and I'm on YouTube, and this is Some Good News with John Krasinski. If you haven't watched this series, you should. So they're up to episode 4. So if you need to pick me up, go watch it. But on here, on any YouTube video, if you scroll down underneath the video, there's a share button. I'm going to click on that. And then you'll see this embed option right here. I'm going to click that. And it's giving me this embed code. And this is HTML code. It's directions to the web browser on what it is that you want it to display. Notice that you have some options in here. You can tell it when to start if you don't want it to start right at the beginning. You can turn on and off the player controls, and you can enable privacy enhanced mode. So that's where I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, it gets rid of all of those recommendations on the right, just cleans it all up so kids aren't seeing any other materials on there. So you can play with that depending on what video you're on there. Well, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to select this code, copy it, or you can do Control-C. I'm going to go back to my content page, which is where I want to put it. And I'm looking all the way over on the right in my content page. Underneath it, you'll see this icon. If you hover over it, it'll say switch to raw HTML editor. So that's where I can place any code that I want on the page, or if I want to edit the code on the page. I think player controls are like next video and things like that. So we can look at that if we want to go and turn that on, see what it looks different. Okay, and then I'm going to paste that in here. So I can do Control-V, or I can right-click paste. And here's that code that I pulled from YouTube. And then I'm going to click on that HTML icon again, and it's going to say this time switch to rich text editor. And there's my video. So this 100% of the time has worked for me, this method. So this is on here now. Now let's go back, since Carmen's asking, let's look at let's turn off player controls and see what is different. I'm going to go back to my rich content editor. I'm going to paste that in there. Let's see how they're different. What are we doing? And we're thinking about saving. My normally amazing internet is not cooperating. We'll wait for it to load. There we go. This one has player control. Oh, yeah. So you don't get the pause, blah, blah. So we have all these controls under here for the one that I didn't turn on to turn off that. And then down here, I didn't. Just see if I can do it again. Okay, so I'm going into my content page. And I'll just delete everything on here. And I hit edit. And in the very bottom right-hand corner, there's my raw HTML editor. So I'm going to click on that, and it changes my view. Notice it removes all these controls up here, because in HTML, I can't use any of those controls. I have to type it by hand. I'm going to go to YouTube, and I'm going to get, let's see what this looks like. We'll just turn this one on. Yep. Okay, privacy enhanced mode. Let's see what that is. And then I'm going to copy this code. Actually, sorry, Steve, I'll go back to the beginning. So I'm at the video, and then I'm going to click share. It's in the top right-hand corner when you're on a content page, as it is. Okay, so I'm going to go to share. I'm going to select embed, select the code, and I'm going to copy it and go back here. So Steve, when you're on a content page or on anything, in the top right-hand corner, it says publish, edit, and then you have your flyout menu. Edit's right there. Okay, and now I'm going to switch to my HTML editor, and I'm going to paste the code that I just grabbed. If I go back to rich content editor, there it is. And I'm guessing, anyways, so there's my code right there. Yeah, Steve, you'll have to make a page. It's not there automatically. I'll make another page in a minute and then you can see that. Okay, so that's how you embed from YouTube, 2 different ways. The first way, a little glitchy, second way always works, and you have some options there. Okay, the next thing I'm going to demonstrate, I'm going to go back to modules, and I want to create another page, and I'm going to call this one Google Drive because we're going to embed from Google Drive. Oops. My mouse likes to double click sometimes. You only need one of those. Okay, Google Drive, and then I'm going to click on the page I just made. Edit. Okay, similar thing here. You go and you access your plugin options. You go to Google Apps, allows you to pull in documents from Google Drive, or you have Google Drive, collect, analyze, and grade student work. This is like the Google Classroom kind of look. I'm going to go into this one. And I have some videos loaded in here that have to do with copyright and Creative Commons. So I'm going to look for getcreative.move. Oh yeah, good point, Kristen. I'll look at that one in a minute, or I'll show people. What was that? So there's the video. I'm going to select that, embed. And it loads in there and I can play the video there. So if you have movies in your Google Drive that you want to embed into your Canvas course, and this works for any Google Drive document. If it's on YouTube, then you can embed it anywhere. So you don't have to worry about copyright. Because you're linking to the original content, you only need to worry about copyright if you're like downloading it and modifying it. Okay. So that's Google Drive, and I'm going to save this. No problem, Gary. And we're saving. Okay, so you can embed from Google Drive that way, but you can also embed. So I haven't tried this with a video yet. We'll try it right now. We'll see if it works. If this saves. Okay, so then I'm going to go back to modules. That'll load eventually. Sometimes it takes a minute. Modules, especially apparently right now. I have 5 people in this house. They all like to video conference when I do. Okay, so another way is if you go to add to share. Yeah, you can embed from MPS share. So you'll look for, although it's been more glitchy for me, I kind of gave up on that like a year ago. Okay, so if I want to add it directly to my module, I'm going to go to external tool. So this is where I can choose the different things. And I'm going to go down to Google Drive. And I'm searching it just because I don't want to go through all my folders, but you can go through your folders to find things. And then I selected the file I want to embed, and then I'm adding it. And now it'll just embed it right in as an item in my module. So it's not on a content page, it's not in assignments or anything, it's an actual item in your module and they can just play it there. So if you don't want to create a content page, you can embed it right onto that if you want to, or into an assignment or into a quiz or discussion, or you can use external tool to embed it right into your module. And that's true of anything that you put in Google Drive. So if you have a Google slideshow and you want to put that in there as an item, you can do that as well. Or if you put a PowerPoint into your Google Drive, you can embed them that way too. Okay, so let's look at Vimeo. So we make
Julie, could you do Could you go through that step one more time, just so I can get that down?
Sure. So you want me to embed it straight into the module from Google Drive?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go to my module, and on the far right, click on the plus to add an element to my module. And then in the drop down, I'm going to choose external tool. And then under there, I'm looking for Google Drive. I think you can do either one of these, but I'll do the first one. And then you select whatever it is that you want to embed from Google Drive in here. And I'll just do something. Here's our cookie party recipes from last year. So this is a slideshow I can put in there. And then I'm going to add that item, and it adds it in here. And if you have a stupid mouse, it adds it twice. Okay, and now what that looks like, if it's a slideshow, it will be right in as an element. So we all shared our cookie party recipes on a slideshow with each other.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, you can embed PowerPoint slides this way as well. So you can, and here let me see if I can find. This is going to annoy me right here. I wonder if I have any PowerPoints. I should. Okay, so I've got some PowerPoints in here. Test administration, that's a great one. So let's look at, and let's embed it into a page, because I think most people, or an assignment. So let's look at embedding a PowerPoint into an assignment. So I created the assignment. I'm going into there. I'm going to click edit. So this is embedding into Canvas. I can embed a PowerPoint that is in Google Drive. So this is just one way of doing this. There's like 800 different ways, and you have to find the way that works for you. Unless it's staying slow. Okay. Let's find, here's a PowerPoint. I'm going to embed that. I don't even know where that came from. 2015, that's why. And it doesn't want to embed. Embed. Go. Okay, well, I'll put a link. Nothing wants to work right now. Let's try that again. Yeah, they can view it without PowerPoint. So all students have access to Office 365, which is all of the Office programs are online. So they can get to Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all of those things online through SharePoint. So even if they don't have those programs available on their computer itself, they can get to it, to the online version, which is just like Google Drive, only it's Microsoft. So, okay, after I selected edit, I clicked this plugin right here. Now there's another way to embed from Google Drive. So I could go to any of these, anything that I have in here. And I can, actually I don't know if I can with this. You can get a shareable link and you can do it that way, but let me find something that I know will work. Oh, you know my cookie parties works. So I can go into this file. And you can convert any PowerPoint to a Google Drive file. So and then I'm going to publish it to the web under the file. And then in there is where you get your embed options. Okay. And then there's my code. So I would take this just like when I was pulling it from YouTube. I can take this code and embed it into my page in the HTML editing. So here, I'll copy that. I'm going to go back to my assignment. I'm going to paste it in here. So that's another way of, oops. Pasted it in the wrong one. Oh. Okay, so that's another way of embedding it from Google Drive. You can just take that embed code from there. So that was under the file menu, and then you select publish to the web, and that's available in any Google Drive file. You can do that. Now, PowerPoint in not if you don't tell anyone. I guess it depends on why it's blocked. The other way, so Jeremy's asked in there, if the district has blocked a YouTube video, can you just download it? Well, you can. That is one way to get around that. But there is another way, and they're usually quick to respond. If you go to the YouTube resource page, at the very bottom, there's a YouTube video exception request, and you can fill that out if you want it to be available to students. And as long as everything's good on there, then it should be approved and opened up. So that's another way. So two different ways of solving that problem.
Hey, Julie, can I say one thing about that?
Sure.
So this is Brad, I'm with EdTech, but the YouTube video thing, if you get that approved, it only gets approved for you to show it through your YouTube account. Because it's approved basically on with the understanding that you're showing it and that you're aware of the content being showed. So I don't actually think if a video gets approved like that, if you put it in Canvas and then a student goes to watch it, it might still be blocked on their end because they're watching it from their YouTube account.
Oh, well, that's annoying.
So, and that's just the filter policy. And I think to go along with Jamie's question, there might be some trouble with, and you can always download it and put it on there, but if it's blocked on our filter, it's probably blocked for whatever reason because it doesn't meet certain criteria. So I would just say, just be careful about that. But yeah, anytime when you do the YouTube exception request, it's just allowing the teacher
Did you disappear, Brad? So I think Brad's short version is rules. So definitely make sure you're previewing content before you're displaying it to students. So everything needs to be safe. Okay, so let's look at embedding from Vimeo, which I've pulled up. This is a great series. Everything in a remix is a remix. If you haven't watched this yet, it's really, really good. But here's how you would do for that. So I'm in Vimeo. I'm looking at a video that I want. And just like in YouTube, there is a share button. And just like in YouTube, you can find this embed option. I'm going to take this code, I'm going to copy it, and notice there's some options up in here too. You have the options or not have the options. So you have some things in here that you can play, or you can play with if you want to. But so I copied that embed code, and I'm going to go to my assignment, select edit. And then in the that makes no sense. So I'm trying to read and talk at the same time. So in the bottom right-hand corner, there is this little bracket looking thing where it says switch to raw HTML editor. And I think, Steve, this is what the part you're missing is clicking this to switch to the HTML editor. So I'm going to click that. And you're in the HTML editor because all of the text options at the top disappear. Then I'm going to paste it in and switch back to the rich text editor so I can see that it is embedded in there correctly. And then I can save it. Steve, did that help? Okay, good. Okay, so that was a bunch of different ways, and Kristen reminded me of another way of embedding from YouTube, and we'll look at that in a second. But you can try the YouTube plugin to embed a YouTube video, or you can go to YouTube and grab that embed code from underneath the video in the share options. You can embed from Google Drive by using the Google Drive plugin. You can also use an external tool to put it right into this module. You can grab embed code from Vimeo and put that in there. You can take PowerPoints using the Google Drive external tool and put them into your module, and you can embed them that way, PowerPoints or slides, into anything that has a rich content editor is all in there. So let's look at what Kristen was talking about with the other option of how to embed from YouTube. I can go to edit. So if you need another option, there's always a bunch of different ways. At least this isn't Photoshop, then there's a lot of things. For narrated PowerPoints, I would upload those to YouTube. Like if you export them as a movie file or a video file from PowerPoint, and then you upload it to your YouTube channel, and then you can embed it from there in exactly this way. Okay, so inserting media, upload or record, is it upload? Kristen, did they move where it was? Wasn't there, you just paste the link in?
Yeah, right there. Oh,
Okay.
no, you don't do a link, it's the embed code.
Yeah, so you can paste the embed code in here instead of going to, oh yeah.
This one's kind of nice if you have a lot of stuff on your page already and want to put it in there and you're nervous about going into the HTML code editor. You can just put your cursor where you want it and then do this option and it'll plop that code right where it belongs. So if the HTML code makes you nervous, this is a good option.
Yeah. So there, I took the same embed code that I was using before, and instead of using the HTML editor, I put it in here, embed, and pasted it there. And then it puts it in there for me. So another way of accessing it, didn't it used to be that we could just put a link to the video itself? I think they changed that. Yeah, so just finding what works for you. There's so many different ways of doing things. Yeah, a link works. You can link to YouTube. So one of the benefits of having it embedded in the page is that kids don't have to leave Canvas to view it. So knowing kids, if you send them out into the world of the internet looking at YouTube, they're going to get distracted by everything else that's going on YouTube. So there is a lot of benefit to keeping them in Canvas rather than sending them with a link. But you can definitely to it.
Doesn't embedding also get rid of the commercial at the beginning too?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Better is subjective. It's whatever it is you want. Okay, any other questions that I missed in the chat, or if you guys have any other questions about this training was specifically focused on videos because that was a big ask when we surveyed some of our staff last week. But if you have questions about anything else or embedding anything else, I'm happy to demonstrate those things.
Julie, was there a link or something we need to sign that we were in this session?
Yes, I think
I'll put that up right now.
So yes, Jeremy, you can use videos in a discussion. So if I create a discussion, I'm going to add it to my module. So here's my discussion. I'm going to click on that and edit my discussion. Then you get the rich content editor, just like what we were just working with. So the type of assignment or element in the module changed, but this part of it is exactly the same. So if I wanted to embed, and I'll demo this way again. If I wanted to embed that video into this discussion and then put a prompt underneath it, then yeah, you could do that. So embedding doesn't work. The Google Drive plugin doesn't work for forms. You can link to them, and you can do, I believe, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong. And let's see. Oh, there's the embed code. So it won't work with that plugin with Google Drive where you want to just select the file and put in there. But if you go to the form and you select that embed code and copy it, then you can go back to your course and you can put the code in there, and then your form is available inside there. So it's just a little process. I don't know why it doesn't, like, it literally works for everything else except for forms to use the plugin. Okay, any other questions before we wrap this up? The recording takes like 24 hours to process, and then we'll get it out there. Thanks, Jenny. Okay, I think we're all set. You guys keep watching the calendar for other topics. We have a bunch going over the next couple of weeks.